Mark is in Chelsea. Mark, good evening.
Good evening, sir. Now, interestingly, your last programme was touching on this. Now, an elderly lady with disabilities, mental, physical, sectioned a number of times in the past under the Mental Health Act, receiving what is now called a Personal Independence Payment, PIP, disability benefit, has an assessment via the good offices of a private company, profiting, pretty profit, under the last government, continuing under this one. Now, as a result of this assessment, which is initially and only, first and last, a phone conversation, everything is noted inaccurately, totally the opposite of such things as can you walk? She says no, it's written down you can walk fine. Can you read? No. You read complicated.
Can she prove this? Was the call recorded?
No, but what my question to you is, as this is continuing on a grand scale, and Macmillan Cancer wants to even help, but all they can do is, quote, complain, unquote. And I found somebody who is doing very nicely in industry with money and is tired of this. Is the law such an animal that it doesn't make sense to, if you have the funding, as legal aid isn't available, to actually sue this private company for leaving vulnerable people in such a bad situation? Bear in mind, what you can prove very easily is that the Court of Appeal gets in touch with the private company, who then informed them that it is a waste of their time and public money to pursue this in appeal, and everything is dropped and everything is reinstated with back pay. So is it worth suing?
I can absolutely promise you the Court of Appeal haven't got in touch with this company and told them it's a waste of time to pursue an appeal. The Court of Appeal doesn't do that.
DWP, okay, so the Court of Appeal, before the appeal is heard...
Mark, do you want to tell me the truth rather than the
lady
excessively
I've described as somebody I care for.
Yeah.
The carer's allowance gets cut off because it's decided the blind, disabled and mentally ill person is neither. And before the appeal can be heard, the DWP contacts the lady and says everything is being reinstated.
So
having had months of being in the cold and neglected as a vulnerable person. So my question is, as this is an indisputable abomination that's happening on a grand scale, can you sue these nice people? I mean, would it be so expensive and stupid? Is the law such an animal that the great and the good are beyond you must not touch them in the courts, even if someone will fund it?
Right, Mark, can I ask you a question without you giving another speech?
Anything you say, sir.
Thank you. First of all, do you think you'll be able to prove that this assessment company was negligent in the assessment?
This particular assessment, no, I didn't record the call. Other than health workers, psychiatrists, physiotherapists, doctors, and breathing specialists all say you can't stand, walk, breathe, or see. And as a result of a phone conversation...
Mark, do you remember I started this by saying just answer the question, don't give a speech?
Well, I don't know. I mean, as the word of all of these professionals in a court of law count for nothing.
Well, the word of professionals in a court of law counts for a huge amount, but that's not an answer to the question I asked you.
I don't know if I can prove it. I mean, it seems odd that a conversation on the phone by a private company deciding that this person can do everything that health professionals say they can't. Who would the judge believe? I don't know. I don't have much experience, unlike you, sir.
Well, your questions are phrased in an extraordinarily pejorative, one-sided way, but I'll do my very best to answer it. If an assessment company gets the assessment wrong by simply writing things down incorrectly, can you walk, and they write down yes when the answer over the phone was no, then they have been at best negligent, and they can be sued for the loss of any benefits that the person you're caring for has sustained. However, you said the DWP reversed its decision and granted her or reinstated her PIP. Presumably that was backdated.
It was.
So has she suffered any financial loss as a result?
No.
Okay, then she has nothing to sue for, I'm afraid. You're concerned about the bigger picture, which is how can a company get away with this, am I right?
The emotional and physical loss and nutritional discomfort of 3 months of having what she was owed removed. So I think this private company that profits should be sued for whatever the word in law is, for hurting somebody that's vulnerable, not for eventually not being able to succeed to take away their rights.
I think, Mark, this is a political issue, not a legal one. I don't think she has a legal claim, I'm afraid, because the law only compensates for money losses in this sort of situation. This is a political issue about lobbying I assume it's the DWP, the organisation that contracts out to this company, and seeing if you can get that contract withdrawn.
Thank you very much.
And Mark's just hung up on me.